the world, the earth, the shape, the function, how you perceive it to be. I'm going to tell you something that you already know, and then I'm going to not twist it, but turn it. And you'll see that you already know the answer, as in you already can perceive the answer, though it's different than the way that you've been led to believe things are. Okay, so not going too much into too many different things. Try and keep it simple, as I generally do with a very complicated thing. So the thing that I'm going to show you, and this is about the shape of our perceived Earth and how it works and what it is. Here we go. So think about an old flour mill, and before sort of technology and things like that, although technology is a log of knowledge. Alright, so what you've got, this is really cool actually, right, is on the outside of the house, right, you've got the wheel. Now, on that wheel, you have particular buckets. See, the location and things like these are the things that have been changed, right? The size, the shape, because it describes the function, the order, and also there's a bit of a clock thing going on there as well. So what you've got is you've got this wheel, you've got the river, which we see as the vast space. Okay, so what I want you to do initially, you can already see it because on a flat surface, it's sort of easier to perceive. It's like a piece of paper. Though, what happens is if you turn this sort of circle into a globe, and that's what's happened to give it a body. Right? Though, as we see on our map, when you turn that image on its side, okay, and then what you've got is this axle, right, the pole, the north and the south pole, right, and then it starts to sort of right here, and what you've got as well is when it's on its side, as we perceive this line, right, which is the contact, right, and the contact generates, well, it's, you think space is cold, when actually it's the heat, right, that we're collecting, right, from the contact surface area, right, scooping up lava, you might say, and bringing it inwards, right, in this centrifugal force to bring it in. It's like an see, because the way that we explain sort of scientific terms is the way that we're led, and we have the framework, right? Some of the frameworks are similar, a bit like this example here. Though the way that you are, that they're communicated is different than the original source information, right? The reason being is because when these started to leak, right, into one another, and this is the exploration. This is interrelationships. This is language. All right. For too much into it, because then you have to go into too much of what the contents of this are and why it's represented as heat and red and all the different colours of the rainbow sort of scooping out, and what these materials or elements are. For this, I'm trying to stay with the very simple example, the yolk, and the egg white, cal or eyes, and that's a good point to leave it on there. So because what I'm trying to do is say you've got like 100 chapters in the answer, I'm just trying to show you the front cover and possibly explain one or two of the contents on the sort of page in between. I don't really get into the chapters and the explanations and things like that, because it's like people just go, what? Yeah, and the rib. One thing that we'll mention, that sort of, being a parent with children and gaining access to knowledge, because it's different than mainstream, right? But yeah, people sort of like could say you've gone mental, which when you know what mental is, you sort of go, yeah, I've always been mental. Emotional and physical as well. Though it's one of the worst ways to say that words stir things up. Right? This is sort of when do things start? You say grow, and the D. Ooh. Okay, that's saying going into too much there, really. This hardware, software place. All right, that's enough for now.